how do you feel that you can, as a designer, to find this balance between like authenticity and personal identity and like commercial? Olá, vamos conversar agora com Alix, da Galeries Lafayette. Então a gente vai saber como que funciona uma multimarca internacional, no caso europeia, e uma das maiores e mais tradicionais do mundo. O que chama a atenção dela para querer revender uma marca? Como que uma marca tão antiga e com tanta tradição segue no mercado, sendo relevante e se adaptando aos tempos, mas de que forma que esse DNA e essa estratégia é feita? A gente vai saber tudo isso e muito mais agora aqui. And you were saying it's not your first time in Brazil, right? You've been here before, like in different
time of my life, yeah.
We are, as a Brazilian, I feel that, and I'm seeing that we are living a current, like, global obsession or eye to Rio de Janeiro specifically. Like, a lot of brands coming here and, like, making fashion shoots in Rio specifically. As a foreigner, why do you think, like, this is happening now? I've been asking this for everybody in this.
In fact, I thought it starts a longer time.
Yeah.
But I think now it's like the end phases of all of it. Maybe linked to what is going on around the world also. And people need security. And I think people need happiness. People need to travel. Travel I'm not talking just about taking a flight. I'm talking about traveling in your mind, traveling in a new culture, traveling in something that is still, that is different from what you know, but at the same time it's not so far.
Yeah.
And I think Latino America in general, it's also carrying that for European people. And I'm curious. I'm very glad to come back because at the end, I know that now there's this big eye on Brazil. But as I said, I always felt it. And I'm surprised to see that at the end, compared to the first time I went, which was 20 years ago, it didn't change so much.
Yeah,
I felt the same energy.
You've been in Rio before?
Yeah.
Or you went
in Rio, yeah. But I felt the same. I don't feel it changed so much. It felt in the right way, and it's rare today to feel that it's evolving but not changing.
Yes.
And I think it's part of a richness of the culture, Brazilian culture, and I'm glad to see this evolution, but not seeing a revolution. So I think this is maybe why it's so on the ice today, because it's on point, on time. But at the same time, it's what it should be, and as it used to be.
Well,
so this kind of
so
balance
good to hear.
is really good.
I find very fascinating to hear like outsiders, like in the geographic perspectives about us. I feel like that's true. I never thought about that. I'm so immersed, but maybe I'm not looking for the good and more shiny and lightful aspects of it. I think it was like a very interesting perspective. Never thought about, but also like French people from my experience in general, they have like this, I don't know if it's connection, but this like appreciation for Brazil in Rio, like lifestyle and everything. When I've been to Paris, like people are like, oh, Rio, Rio, Rio. Why do you think also this, do you believe in that also? Or?
Yeah, well, I think France is interesting, France, because you have a lot of different origins in France. Like you have the people that come from the north, people that come from the south. I come from the south, and my families come from Italy. So I always feel like close to the Latin spirit, even if it's not Italy, of course, but something that's the sun and the warmness and the easiness. And I think this is part of us in a way. And in the same time, Brazil is like a bit of that, but in the same time so exotic, and so there's a lot of freedom, I believe, freedom of the body, freedom of the people, the skin colors. There's no problems. It's like everything is free. I mean, it's the feeling it gives.
Yes, I understand.
And I think as French, we love the freedom. You know, like we're very
yeah.
Normally we like freedom. We like to fight, and I think there's this kind of global cool spirit that we can find in Brazil that maybe attract us so much. And the beach, and the music, and the cool guys, and the cool girls, and the caipirinha, and everything of that. That is, I think, part of happiness.
Yeah, it
happiness.
And also, you work like in a very traditional place in France and very connected to fashion in different aspects and pillars and everything. Uh, Making a connection from this Brazilian perspective, what we are facing, not right now, but like in the last years in Brazil, in the fashion industry, that is that we have like a difficulty to improve our industry, to get like more professionalized, to see fashion from a perspective that is a cultural important movement. Like it's not about like just making clothes and everything. What do you think from your personal perspective that are the steps or things that we could look at to make like a Brazilian fashion not as much, but like seen as kind of in a similar way of like the Brazilian lifestyle, like to pick up this Brazilian hype and turn into also like Brazilian hype in fashion, in clothes, in products and everything.
And to export. Your point is to export it. It's
also,
not.
yeah. It can be. It's up to you. It's up to you.
It's not an easy question because there's a lot of question inside the question. I think that, and I was talking yesterday to some people, and they say how much Brazilian fashion was really an internal market. So it was Brazilian fashion for Brazilian brand, for Brazilian people buying Brazilian products, and you improve a lot of your capacity of production, and so you kind of managed to do something very internal, and I think it's a big strength. Of course, brands want to export, they want to develop, they want to be more known worldwide, blah 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 blah, which is totally normal, and I believe it's possible. There is a first limit, I would say, which is not a limit. It's question of a word. It's like you're from the south of the world, we are from the north of the world. So the seasonality, the kind of products is not always what a customer could look for, or not at the right time. So there's kind of seasonal things. But more than that, I think it's how you can, and in fact, link also to this conversation I had yesterday, is that the brand that you have in Brazil develop very quickly in their own shop, in their own store. While when you are in Europe or in US, the brands, the young designers develop first the wholesale and not the retail. And for sure, the way they build the collection, the way they think to the customer is not the same. So what I like is that as you develop first the retail, your first goal is the final customer. When you develop first the wholesale, your first goal is the B2B partner, which is not exactly the same. So you have these strong strengths. But at the same time, as the brand are very quickly global, like for different use, for different people, because they have their own store, they can lose their singularity.
Yes, which is very hard.
And this is very hard. So I think the big challenge for the Brazilian brand is to figure out what is their own personality and how they can reinforce this personality to every kind of products, and not just a store with a collection, in order to be able to communicate on this singularity through the B2B and through the development international. But at the same time, it's not a problem. What I want to say about that is at the end, it's cool also that not every brand is distributed everywhere. So I think it's good to develop some brands, but I think it's good that each market also kept its authenticity, its singularity. And I was like walking yesterday and go to Leblon mall, and I was happy to do not see so much international brands. I was happy to see mainly local brands. And it's a strength that not a lot of country has. So it's good to want to develop, export, but it's good also to realize what is your strength and also what makes this so different and so strong.
Anti-global market, like a reverse.
Well, let's say that's. I think it's. When I was young, I always liked to buy clothes when I was traveling. More than when I was in my city, because there was something like exotic, there was something rare, there was something like so singular. So I think it's interesting to keep that, and Brazilian, you keep it. And honestly, In fact, tomorrow I have a little break. I want to go back to buy some Brazilian brand because I want to bring something from my from your country to my country, and not as a buyer of a department store, but as a woman that want to dress with Brazilian brand.
And also, like for me, especially when I pick something that I bought in a trip, when I pick it up, oh, I bought when I was there, and then I remember the feelings, and it's like a history travel, like with a piece, which I think is very cute and like unique. If we think about fashion in this way, I'm a very sentimental person.
Yeah,
with
me too.
clothes and everything.
I'm a collectioner. Like pieces for me is as in the story.
And have like a closet with things like with.
I would love to have a bigger closet, but it's not as big as I would like today. But it would be. I would like expose everything. No, but to come back to your last question, because I answer on a personal point of view, I would say, and if I have to answer on a business point of view, or on a more professional point of view, I think that what I also observe in like coming back in Rio is that has been an evolution of the Brazilian fashion, the Rio general fashion, because it's the one I know. I don't know Sao Paulo. I've never been to Sao Paulo, and I think that I kind of like where it goes because you feel that you are in Brazil, you feel that you are in brands coming from sun, from body consciousness, from there is something light and easy. It's not pretentious, but at the same time, you start to have like maybe more worldwide called like there's something more sophisticated.
Yeah.
And I think that the balance is moving on a really right way. I was very surprised.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel that you can, as a designer, to find this balance between like authenticity and personal identity and like commercial, the customer taste and like sales and.
Honestly, if I knew, I will launch a brand. So I don't know. No.
Like when you look at a brand,
the balance,
oh, this brand is
you
balanced.
know, the balance is something that is so impalpable, we say in French, like difficult to really understand why there is this balance between everything. I would say that what creates the most balanced approach is the consistency, and it's to feel right in what you want to do, and the honesty, because it's big value that I believe in. So I would say that this maybe should be the right chemical. But in terms of how do you do in terms of product, but honestly, I think that the recipes really can be unique from one brand to another.
Yeah.
So it's more about how do you make this very consistent in terms of products and communication about what you are, what you want to do, how do you want to develop your stores. So yeah, consistency and honesty.
It makes sense. And what catches your eye in a brand? Like when you have like a place full of brands and clothes and products, what's something that like you think that makes your eye and choices like pop up, stand out?
I think it's less the product than the storytelling that I can catch.
Ah, really?
Yeah. I mean, if I have a lot of things around me,
Yeah.
of course, if there is a piece, it's a piece. But sometimes it's just through a rail with some products close one to another. I don't know why they tell me a story. They tell me a story because it's a super good balance between the product and the fabrics, and the color is perfect. And so they tell me something that I already feel in. And sometimes there is some others that have a lot of products, but doesn't tell me. So there's I love fashion because I love the product, but I think that I love even more the storytelling. It's like a bit, why do I buy clothes outside of my country? No? It's a storytelling. It's the soul of the product. It's not just about the product. And this is, you can just feel it. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's interesting because like this is something that with every person that I talked here, like from different areas, it kind of take us to the same spot, which is this like about image, about like subjects. It's something that goes beyond like rationality. It's kind of its vibe, its aura, it's like soul in a way. I find it very interesting, but also it's very challenging nowadays with social media, and also it's a powerful tool. how to tell stories when there are so many things happening in the same spot, when we are scrolling like all the time. How do you feel that this impacts your work nowadays? Because like Lafayette is a very traditional place, but at the same time, uh, it's always keeping up with the times, with the trends and everything. Like, how do you balance those things together?
Well, we have a beautiful patrimony. Like it's Galeries Lafayette is institutional stores in France, especially of course Paris store, Haussmann store, that is like iconic space that people come to visit. So like there's more visitors than the Tour Eiffel just to see the cupola
Yes.
and the terrace, which is incredible and it's incredible strength. Sorry. But at the same time, the role of the department store, and especially in Galeries Lafayette, always been to democratize fashion, to feel the zeitgeist, the air du temps, the spirit of the time, and step by step, the designer coming out, the couturier, and then the designer to really allow to these creators in the wide sense,
Yeah.
to be shown to the public, because we strongly believe, and this is really something from the family owner of Galeries Lafayette, that is still something in our DNA as a store, is that the creation can change the world. And we believe that, I'm not saying that fashion can change the world, because I always say that I'm buying director, but I'm not saving life, this for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we create desire. We can create a dream. We can create something different. So we need to be always close to what is our time. And for that is not so easy, because you're a big institution, you have a big of traffic, you're doing a very certain amount of turnover, and of course it's our role is to manage to keep it and to develop it, but at the same time to be closer to our customers, and to make him feel the experience even more unique, even more singular. So we're working a lot trying to find the balance between what let's say make business, but what make really the singularity of a customer journey inside a store. And it's true that today you have everything in your pocket. Like you can take your phone, you can go in the store, you can scroll. I mean, you will see the same dress on another website. So, and of course, I cannot like reference just exclusive brand for a store that has 5,000 meters square per floor. It's impossible. Yes. But what will make the difference is how we can create this interaction from one brand to another. How we can let the brand express their own DNA through the concept of their store, because we have a lot of boutique of the brands, because we believe that this creates the experience. And inside that, when the customer journey is like the most fluid, the most cool, with some surprises, with new brands, with also facility, because in a department store you want also to find where you think you will find the right brand at the right space. You create surprise, and you can allow, and we allow ourselves, of course, it's one of our role, to still develop new designers, to promote new brands, to make them visible inside their windows, inside their social network, inside their stores, inside the mannequins, inside the customer journey. So I think it's trying to find the right balance between business and surprises, between reassurance and novelties, between experience of Galeries Lafayette, but also the experience of the brand. And I think it's this kind of balance today that we try to really put inside our stores, that make our stores so different, so powerful still, but at the same time so different and a lot more fashion than it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered to your question.
No,
But
100%. And while you were talking, like you said, like you like to go to places and buy things, and you have like this connection with things. Like you generate this experience for like a huge part of like worldwide travelers and visitors. Like a lot of Brazilians, they go to Paris and they go to Galeries Lafayette and they're like, oh, I bought this. So it's kind of like you are creating this experience like to other countries and like tourists and everything, which is really crazy what you were talking about. I was like, what?
Yeah, because
You're the responsible for that.
No, but I think maybe in the past, I'm saying we evolved a lot in the last year at Galeries Lafayette, and our customer base has also evolved, and it was a target, and we had a lot of evaluation in terms of experience,
Yeah.
and we really want to increase this feeling to be in Galeries Lafayette. So the target was very clear. Then I think it's always good to take into consideration who is your customers and to answer to his needs. But it's never easy when you are a worldwide store because you have so many customers. So if you try to answer to all the needs of every customers, at the end, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean,
Who are
it's
you,
a mess.
like,
It's a mess. It's like, well, are there so I think what we decided is like we decide to be what we are, and we are a Parisian department store. And when someone enters in this store, it needs to feel that is in Paris. It needs to feel that is Parisian fashion. It needs to feel that. So it's true that it's not the most exclusive, if I may say so, because Parisian fashion, sorry to say that, I'm a lot chauvin, we say in French. It's like I believe that it's very powerful in the word, and it's the case. So it's difficult to be as unique as that because you are based where a lot of the most powerful fashion brands are there.
Yeah.
But you can create an exclusive customer journey, and you can create an exclusive selection, not just because you buy new brands, even if it's important, but because you have some real parti pris. And the parti pris, you understand?
I was going to ask you, what is that?
Parti pris, you focus on one thing, and we cannot focus on everything. But what we focus is like we decide to be the strongest in what we call designers, and we have the strongest offer. And you cannot go in another place in Paris where you have this kind of offer in terms of number of brands, in terms of offer inside the brands, in terms of concept of the brands. So you can have nearly all the designers French and European that are present there. So we decide to be like to create a real destination on that.
Yeah.
As well as we just like reorganize our beauty stores, beauty departments, and we create a strong
huge,
destination on the beauty, especially on the perfume and on the wellness. So you are a department store, so we always used to have a lot of, to try to be the best and to have everything in all the departments, products category. But what we slightly manage is to say, okay, there are things that support a strategy, but there are things that are the art of a strategy. Yeah. And on the product category that are the art of a strategy, we need to be the best. It's the only way. And it's what we try to do. And with a lot of humility, I think we did a bit, but I think, as I say to my team and to the people, I think we build a beautiful playground. Yeah. Now we have a beautiful new playground and new organization in order to go even forward. So it's very exciting. And now we will do the same for men's. So it's always moving.
So when I get there, like the next time will be like a whole like menswear focus.
Next time, I don't know when you come because right now it's architectural refurbishment, so it will take a bit of time. But mid of 2027, the main building will be completely refurbished.
Yeah. It will be a building, not a floor.
It's already a building. It's already a part, the main, but it's a building that we haven't redone since. I mean, the ground floor hasn't been redone since 2010. So 15 years ago, and the facade doesn't move so much. So we were doing the facade, we were doing completely the architecture of the ground floor, we were building new escalators, we were seeing all the circulation, and we're taking parti pris on really strong destination as men accessories, men shoes, and also designer and luxury. So we cannot be the best everywhere, but for sure we can be the best where it fits what our brand, because Galeries Lafayette is one of the strongest retail brand in the world, wants to be, and the DNA and the mission. We have a mission, and our mission is really to reveal the energy of the creation. This is our mission. So if we go step by step and all in that direction with our right goals, we can be the best.
You feel like the menswear sector is like popping? You feel that there is this need for
The menswear sectors has been booming in the, I would say, in the last 10 years.
yeah.
It start to mature slightly. I would say the last 2 years, we can see like a slightly maturation, and we see it Galeries Lafayette, but I can talk to all the competitors and it would more or less say the same. As I think it really increased on an organic growth. Now today, it can follow to be a strong development if we manage to give to the men the same experience that a woman has on the woman. And we usually develop the men in a very pragmatic and business-oriented way, but now we just need to integrate like more spices, and so we that's the reason why we do that.
It makes a lot of sense. Like when I think about a place that you go to buy like different brands for men, usually are more streetwear kind of segments. I can have like imagine a space because there are like a different behavior, like in the interaction with the salesperson. I think it's like a different way of buying from my personal perspective.
But it has been a big increase of the streetwear. On our side, the streetwear is slightly going down. But it's good because it's like it's not that it's going down and it will never be. It's just that the man came into fashion through the streetwear, but now that he's like more aware about fashion, he can like redevelop his way to consume clothes around streetwear and not just streetwear.
Yeah, not focused.
Yeah.
And one last question, because he was like, "Oh, what is luxury from your perspective? Like it can be about product, brands, or I don't know." Like, what is luxury for you, personally or professionally speaking? It's up to you.
I think it's a combo of different things, and I would say it's more my personal way. I never been such a brand addict. I'm not being educated like that. I remember when I was young, I wanted a chevignon. I don't know if you know chevignon. It was a doudoune with a chevignon at the back and a duck at the back. Cool. And my mother said, never. You cannot put a logo on you. You don't have to see any logo. So for me, luxury, but it's really personal. Huh? Okay. It's not logo, that's for sure. So I nearly have no clothes with logo, I believe. But I think it's about a mix between creativity and quality and uniqueness. So it's this combo of something that is unique in the right way to do it, and that I can really feel that I'm nearly the only one to have. So this will be my way to see luxury.
In your like professional, from your professional perspective, as a Galeries Lafayette, what would you say? It's luxury.
Luxury is to create desirability.
Desirability.
And I think that everybody has the chance to be excited by something. And whatever it's a logo or not a logo. And I'm not judging nobody. So I think like we just need to be able to be able, when we say we need to be able, I'm talking about Galeries Lafayette, but I'm talking of course of our partners, the brands, to create desirability. And wherever we target, wherever it is, we just need to understand that we're living in a world where the rules are not the same as before, and we're living in a world where rules are really different from one to another, and it can be like big extreme. So you have to decide who you want to target, and then through that be completely consistent to create this desirability.
I never thought about that, and now I feel like that's true. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you to you. I'm very glad to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.